Welcome to Livestream Stars. I'm Ross Brand. Every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we showcase talented broadcasters delivering high-quality content across live streaming platforms. Actually, that's not completely true because there's not going to be a show the next 2 weeks. So today is not only the first show of 2016, but the last of our 7-show run. We're going to be off for 2 weeks, and then we'll be back. Maybe never take a break again. This has been so much fun, but next 2 weeks, there won't be shows back on January 25th. Livestream Stars is brought to you by Livestream Universe, livestreamuniverse.com. Check it out. There's a new blog post featuring our guest, Karen Graves, 37 predictions from 37 thought leaders about live streaming and digital broadcasting for 2016. So definitely check that out. And now let's welcome Karen Graves. Karen is definitely one of the people who have been most enthusiastic in embracing Blab. I think she hosts about 40 shows a week. She is the host of one of my favorite shows on Blab, Thought Leaders Playground, where she and Coach Jenny Mustafa Julak, the Audacity coach, discuss how to run your Blabs, how to manage your Blabs, how to establish yourself, your business, and establish yourself as a thought leader on Blab. She's also host of the Innovative Think and Grow Rich for Coaches show on Blab. And before we get into all that, Karen, tell us a little bit, because we've all had lives before this Blab took over our lives, right? So yeah. You were a sales professional, trainer, coach in the corporate world, and then went off to do that as your own business.
Yes, sir. So I worked with Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. I was first of a sales rep, then, hospital sales rep, and then I was a sales trainer, and then a manager of sales trainers, and had a really great run in corporate until I got to that burnout space, and that space of knowing there was more to the world, knowing that I was meant to do something different, something bigger, something bolder. And then, the idea of coaching was presented to me by somebody on our staff who had become a recent coach. And I was just like, oh, that's what I want to do. So Pfizer was laying down just at the same time I was getting certified. I looked at it as divine intervention, and I jumped into my coaching practice head first, and quickly realized that there's a lot more than passion that it takes to build a business.
Now, I can tell online that a lot of people who come to talk to you, ask you questions and so forth, are coaches themselves. Mm-hmm. Are those your primary clients, or do you work with people all across the spectrum of different businesses?
My specialty is coaches and consultants, and it's coaches who are just starting out, or they find that they're starting over because what they thought they were supposed to do isn't really what they find is what they're really supposed to do. So I'm the person who's going to help them build profitable coaching practices.
And what do you see that people need the most help with? People who are solopreneurs or consultants, coaches, and they have to sell, they have to get business, they have to do some marketing. They got into it because they were passionate about helping people, but they still have to put some food on the table. So how do you help them, or what do you see as the biggest weaknesses that people have who get into that line of work? And then how do you kind of help them get over that and make their businesses profitable?
There's a couple of spaces, and I love that question, so thanks for asking it. The biggest thing that I see is there's the sales and the marketing component. And when you are blinded by passion, and I only say it because I was it, I was that person who was like, oh no, I'll just be a coach and everybody will love that, because I'm going to help people. And you don't have the sales and marketing strategies, the basics, the fundamentals behind it. It can get really confusing because there's so many ways that you're told, well, this is what you should do, and that's what you should do, and this is how you should do it. And there's so much information out there that people get bogged down and overwhelmed by it. And I usually say that people become addicted to info crack. Then there's swirling, downloading course and programs and packages and getting involved and all sorts of mentorships, and they still don't know what it is that they do that's going to have the most results that their clients really want. They're not looking for, they're not thinking of themselves as problem solvers and solution providers and leaders and influencers. And so once they figure that out, then it's also, is that marketable? Is that something somebody will invest in? Is there evidence that somebody even wants to buy what you're selling? And
Right.
so, knowing that, at the end of the day, it's business, and you've got to make sure that what you're offering is what people want. And you need to be positioned in front of them and know what you're talking about and have that belief with yourself too. So the whole mindset thing can also get in people's way. So there's a lot of layers, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to, are you creating a sound and profitable business?
So in addition to getting caught up with a lot of information and overthinking and trying to become an expert on everything with sales and marketing so that people are busy without necessarily taking the step forward, right? Mm-hmm. What other things do you see that people spend time on who are new to sales and marketing and promoting themselves that tends to not really give much of a return on investment? Because time's really the most important asset we have now, and it's easy to feel like you're doing something all day. You can be on social media, you can be on Blab, you can be sending emails, you can be cold calling. There's a million different things you can do with the technology we have from anywhere and still feel like, okay, I'm accomplishing something, but are you? So what do you think are the mistakes that people are making and how they, maybe spend their time that isn't that productive?
Yeah, I see that we can always justify our time in the realm of busyness, but it's not necessarily conducting the business on the things that we need to focus on. So I see that a lot of people are preparing for how they feel they should look in order for somebody to work with them. So they start doing, I'm going to create a webinar. I'm going to fancy up my website, or I'm going to look perfect. I'm going to spend all my time all over social media and make it seem like I have a big presence. When at the end of the day, it really comes down to, are you doing the things that are going to get you in front of the clientele that you're going to be working with? Are you doing the things that are going to have you actually having a conversation with the person who is going to ultimately become your client? And if you're doing those things that you think, I think people get focused on, I'm going to speak one to many. I'm going to talk to a lot of people, and hopefully that will catch a lot of people, rather than focusing on, why not do the things that are helping you speak to one person that you can help at a time and start helping those people.
And where do you find that person? If somebody's new to getting into coaching or consulting, is it cold calling? Is it social media? You're saying people are trying to build like a big presence, right? And they don't have client number one yet. So how do they get to where they can be billing and where they can be helping people and doing what it is they got into wanting to do it in the first place, which probably wasn't wanting to design a website and, create webinars and, because those things take a lot of time too. I mean,
they take a lot of time, and, they also take a big audience. For you to have a really good return on investment on something like a webinar, you're going to need a lot of people. You're going to have to throw out, this huge net. Now, I always say throw out a wide net, but that wide net should incorporate people who are surrounding you at any given moment.
Right.
And when I say like surrounding you at any given moment, you can probably find a client in the people you already know. You can find clients in the people that know who you know. You can find clients in your local networking. You can find you can cold call. It's not my favorite approach at all, but it's something that you can do. There are people who are in your social media universe who are already ideal clients, but instead of going into a group and yelling out to everybody, why not make, personal connections to those folks? Right. So instead of looking, far and wide, look right around you.
Right. And I think like you and Jenny are so great at using Blab because it's not so much about broadcasting to the world and hoping you find a new client somewhere who sees you. You guys use it to stay engaged and stay connected and continue helping your clients that you already have or people who are already interested in working with you to a large degree, right? I mean, a lot of it is building a community and keeping that community engaged. I mean, it's almost more like community management than it is like okay, I'm going to get on, do a show, and all of a sudden 10 new clients are going to be showing up at my door, right?
Right. It actually, for me, Blab really started as this. First of all, it was one of those things that it was just like, where has it been all my life? But I love speaking. Speaking is my favorite platform. If I'm,
Right.
if I'm, whether it's live or virtual. But I found that when I was trying to do it virtual, there was never anything that allowed me to feel that the engagement was two-way. I always felt like, with Periscope and Google Hangouts and stuff like that. Google Hangouts, first of all, is a technological nightmare. So I never liked it. I was like, who created this crap? It's horrible. But, when it came to like Periscoping and YouTubing, I felt like I was just like, I'm just going to talk here and I'm going to hope that there's engagement and then maybe that we can have a dialogue. And Blab was actually that thing. Being a sales trainer and having a training background, I was always platforming. I was always standing in front of groups. And to me, this is the next best way to do that in an atmosphere.
Right.
So Blab was exactly what that was. It's the opportunity to do that teaching and training and interacting in that capacity and build a community around it. So people were having conversations and engaging with each other. So it was really, really cool. So I really enjoyed this type of platform, this space. And that's what I think Blab lends to an environment. And, so for people who are thinking about using Blab, really not looking at it as I'm going to get a lot of clients. Now, did I get clients? Absolutely. But if that was my intention, I think I would have crashed and burned. Mm-hmm. Because it was much more organic than that. It was just much more just doing what I always do, whether it's somebody invites me to come to speak at their workshops or doing my own.
Do you do much repurposing of your Blabs? Do you put them on a website? Do you share them out as sort of proof that you know what you're talking about? If somebody says, okay, how can I learn more about what you do? You can send them to a website and people just scan and then they forget about it, right? Or you could send them to watch a replay of this Blab where I actually talk about this and how I help people, whatever. Is that something you do, or do you just try and stay in the moment and then when it's over, you got another show coming up anyway?
Yeah, my shows are pretty much every day. So it's my best intention. And, I've been saying I'm getting Simple Live Press, but I really don't want to get Simple Live Press for the purpose of, I do really want a new website, not to look pretty, just because I don't like .org. I've never liked .org. And I'm like, you know what? I want to change that. But this, as far as repurposing, I started putting them on YouTube, but then I said, I don't have much of a YouTube presence. If they're going to go anywhere, they're going to go on my blog. So I like the idea of repurposing. Where they live, for the most part, is either here or in my Facebook group.
Right.
So I do have a Facebook group, and that's where I house them. And, other than that, they should be on my blog. I have to get better at that. 2016 intention. Yeah.
Simple Live Press is great. I mean, it does bring all your comments over, which is pretty cool. So Julie from at Peaceful Eater asks a very interesting question, and that is, if you're trying to help people around a topic in which they might be embarrassed about coming forward and discussing, say, in a platform like Blab, how do you, reach that, as she calls it, that tribe?
I think it's a great question. I did see that. Hi, Julie. So as far as when you're looking at a topic that is emotionally sensitive or psychologically sensitive to people, and they're not comfortable disclosing, the best thing that you can do is partner with organizations that are already serving that community. Because binge eating is not, it's not like people aren't serving that group. There are doctors, there are, organizations. So I would say, who in your world is already in front of them and is looking and willing and wanting to partner with you in serving that community? That would be the best approach, because then you're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
It can be really hard, because if you have people who aren't like, yes, that's me, I'm the one over here, then it's going to be really, really tough to reach them.
Now, do you ever have the opposite issue, Karen, where you have somebody comes on to a Blab and asks you a question, and you start thinking, maybe they're getting into something that they may not realize that they're discussing this in public, because this is a very informal, very friendly, platform. And it's easy to forget sometimes and think, okay, we'll just talk about like we were chatting, over a cup of coffee or something. And all of a sudden you remember, well, this is going to live forever, perhaps. So do you ever have a time where it's like a client or somebody might ask you a question in a blab and you think, not sure really, do you really want to discuss this here, or should we not be? Like, I guess I'm asking what's the opposite of the question that Julie asked.
Yeah, no, I absolutely have had that space where people get in my chair, and I call it my love space, my love chair, and it can be really sensitive. And all I do is at that point is ask them, is it okay if we keep discussing this? We're on the record. Do you want to stay on the record? Do you want to get off the record? Right. Because it can live on forever. And I've had cases where some people are like, no, keep it on the record, because I want to refer back to it later. Like when you're in a moment of getting coached, it's almost surreal. It's almost like an out-of-body experience. Like you're not necessarily knowing, if you're really connected to the coach, you should not be thinking about what you're talking about. You should just be responding. You should be in that space, right? There should be a deeper connection than just that conversation. So sometimes people want to go back and reflect through it and hear what they didn't hear the first time. And some people are like, I never want to see it again. Let's act like it never happened. So take it off the record. So I think it's, if you're in that space, just ask permission is the best way to go about it.
So talk a little bit about the different blabs you host, especially interested in Think and Grow Rich for coaches, because, we all know the title of the Napoleon Hill book, and now you're doing that type of content on Blab, which is very interesting to me. So talk a little bit about that show and how that works, because I know that's a very big endeavor. I mean, that you've been working on for a long time.
Yeah, so it started back in, I think it was like September, October. And I was on somebody's Blab. I forget what the topic even was. And I was going into like the Think and Grow Rich information because I had just picked up the book again. And I was like, I was thinking about maybe I should do Think and Grow Rich, like as a book, like a daily book discussion. And I had been thinking about it for years, though, Ross. That was the crazy thing. Like for years, I was like, maybe I'll do like a teleseminar series, or maybe I'll do a webinar, and I just never had the courage. But for some reason, Blab felt like the space. So I said, and I kind of did it as a twofer. One, because I really wanted to get into this information and to really lead the discussion and go deeper in the book. But the other one was to actually hold myself accountable to finishing the book and finishing it with a group. And so I put out this, let's do Think and Grow Rich for coaches. And at that time I was doing another Blab called the Coach's Corner. So it was like Think and Grow Rich for coaches was just going through the Think and Grow Rich book. And then the Coach's Corner was going to go through every other topic. Well, as it started progressing, my schedule got too crazy. It just there was just too many Blabs going on. So I scaled back just to Think and Grow Rich. We went through the book the first time. Then we went through Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Then we went through a 10-day challenge. And now we're back to Think and Grow Rich. And it really just springboarded into these discussions about, these iconic classics, how they apply to our lives today. How can we, just become better people for ourselves, for our businesses. And that's what that's where it came from. And that's where I take it every time.
I'm going to guess the answer is yes, or you wouldn't have invested this much time into it. But I'm guessing they all still are very relevant, and the advice is fairly timeless. I mean, maybe the language that they're written in kind of reflects the era that they were, created, right? But
yeah.
But the lessons, you'd recommend those books to anybody, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. When it comes to especially Think and Grow Rich, it's that one book that you can ask, 100 entrepreneurs, have you ever heard of this book? Somebody's going to say yes, but most of them are going to say yes. And people are going to tell you either they've read it or they've been thinking about reading it, or they apply it or they don't, they live it, they eat, sleep, and breathe it. It's definitely, and I find that if you read just about any modern personal self-development book, Napoleon Hill covered 13 principles of success in this book. The 16 that he identified. Any book that you read, those principles are in the books.
Right.
They're in every single book. Now some people are like, well, he took those principles from the Bible. Maybe so. But, I was looking up some information on it. Out of all of the books ever written, it's the only second personal development book behind the Bible that has sold the most copies. It sold 70 million copies. And it's the only one, it's the first nonfiction book behind the Bible. So the Bible, nobody can touch. It's 5 billion copies. Can't touch the Bible. I don't think anybody.
They had a couple thousand year start, right?
Yeah, they had a really good long start. But even before they started counting book sales.
Yeah, exactly. Before there were even bookstores.
What is this New York Times bestseller you say? Yeah. So yes, and Think and Grow Rich is still selling, and we can even count the copies that in my Facebook group. There's a PDF version that you can get. There's all sorts of different versions. There's all sorts of offshoots of it. It is it's just a book that the principles never die. And I applied the principles the first go round with doing this Blab. I applied the principles, and I can tell you, my life dramatically changed from the time of starting reading it to where I am now. It was like just, getting my practice back together, because I had taken a year and a half off of my practice, trying to get it back together and still trying to find my way back into coaching. And now it's like full practice, another business going on. And it's a far cry. And I really attribute it to who I've become through the principles.
So give everybody also a little update on Thought Leaders Playground. It's really like a show that I love, because it's all about learning how to do Blab, how to get better at Blab. And it's a chance where people can ask questions of other people on Blab, of you, of Jenny, and learn how to get better at doing this. So, kind of what motivated you and where's the show at like right now, and what do you see for it, going forward? So, I think that's like 10 questions in one.
It's okay. I got you. Yeah. So Thought Leaders Playground, if everybody knows Coach Jenny and I, we met on Blab. It sounds like at the beginning of a funny joke, like we met on Blab. Met on Blab, and we just found that we have like similar styles and also similar viewpoints about what Blab's ability to be is. Like we're still in the newness phase of Blab. It's still a novelty. A lot of people don't even know what it is. I can't, you can now, unlike Think and Grow Rich, you can ask 100 entrepreneurs, do you know what Blab is? And there's probably like 5 in every crowd are like, yeah, I know Blab. I've heard of it. They don't really know it yet. Right. So it's still just starting out. And if you notice that some of the programming is really great programming, like the show that you're doing here, it's all about, really highlighting the quality and substance that exists in the Blab world. Well, there's also some lacking of quality and substance in the Blab world. But what we thought is, we're not going to worry about what's not great about Blab. But if we really look at the folks who are doing, what they want to do as far as being thought leaders, as far as helping others, influencing others, bringing forth, topics, ideas, solutions to, the world at large, and really change the world in a powerful way, and want to do it through Blab, we want to help them.
Right.
And so that's where the Thought Leaders Playground came from.
And is there like a common denominator among like shows that you think are good? Okay, this is what good hosts do. This is, what a good show is about. Or is every show just, what makes one show good is totally different from another one?
My personal take on it is that the shows that are really, really good are about the audience and less about the person who's putting them out there. I believe that you've got to come from that place of service. If you're going to be somebody worth following, then it's not about you. It's about those who are viewing, and so if you think about, I'm the host now. I kicked him out. No, he'll be right back, I'm sure. Here it comes.
Yeah. You can't hit the back. If you hit the back button when you're typing in the chat box, sometimes it takes you to a different screen in your browser. So.
Oh, I totally lost my show this morning because I was clicking around and I was just like, oh, there I go. And I'm the only host here. That's fun.
I was trying to tell Julie that Thought Leaders Playground, but I started typing the wrong thing, is on 4:30 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays.
Yep, Tuesdays.
Are you on tomorrow?
We are on tomorrow.
Awesome.
As a matter of fact, I'd have to double check with Jenny, but I do believe we are back tomorrow because we did take a break for the holidays. But it's all about, how can we help those who want to use Blab effectively use Blab effectively? What is it that we can do? And there's also, thank you, Shoshana, putting the Facebook group. What can we do to enhance the quality and substance of Blab through the people who are already blabbing? Are we, the end all be all of we know Blab better than anybody else? No, we're still new at it too.
Right.
But we've learned some things by staying glued into what are the changes that are happening on Blab. What are some of the ways that you can effectively use Blab in your business? What you should think about before going into a Blab. What's going to work in Blabs? What doesn't work in Blabs? Because, we've done some of these things and we've done some of the hiccups that have been like, I've had the Blabs where it's like, okay, it's just me and myself and I. And this is not fun. Those are the Blabs that are hidden in my replay. But they exist.
It's like the people who put a post on Facebook and nobody likes it, so they delete it a day. Like I don't think I've ever done that, but I was reading about something where people do that, especially a lot of the younger generation. If they don't get enough likes, they just delete the post.
Well, I don't have time to go back to delete my unliked posts, but I will happily go back and delete my my Blabs that were not good Blabs.
Right.
So, but yeah, we come around here enough and we show up enough that we've come up with some, what are some good etiquette practices? What are some good show formats? What are some things that are really, really working for us? Doesn't make us experts, but it does make us, helpful to other people. So, wow, Kurt Green looks like JFK Jr.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And, we'll never know unless he turns his webcam on.
I know.
So, Kurt, if you're trying to get on, just accept the use of Blab to your webcam. There you go. We're still not going to know.
No.
Yeah, we still don't know.
You look like you're in the witness protection place.
Oh my goodness gracious!
There you go.
Hi.
Hey, Kurt.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
So what's your
doing all right?
What's your
I am
question
not
for
JFK.
Okay.
I see that you're not JFK Jr. I kind of see. You're a handsome man, though. I will say you're definitely a handsome man.
Well, thank you. I have him up on my Twitter because he fell out of the sky with his wife and his sister-in-law, and I didn't think that was fair. And then my Facebook picture is Mrs. Kennedy, and they did that to the father. I think there's something going on there all these years with JFK and JFK Jr. and just shooting an MLK and his brother too, RFK. Everybody be shooting. There was a lot of shooting going on back then.
So, Kurt, do you have a question about Blab or sales or marketing? This is not the place to get into the political discussions.
Oh, okay. No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'll
no
go
problem.
away. You all have a good day.
You have a good night.
Right.
Thanks for popping in.
Take care. Thanks, Kurt.
Bye-bye. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Very flexible with topics, but I said when I got on this, I wasn't going to do politics and I wasn't going to do religion. So I...
And you know what? Exactly what you just did, Ross, was a perfect example of how you handle, when things can go awry and off topic.
Right.
Because this can happen in any Blab. People will show up and just try to come in your space. And I don't think that, I think he's good heart, good intention, but not the right space or the right time. And you handled it just so well.
Oh, thanks.
Better than I would have, because I probably would have been entertaining it for a minute. He's new to Blab. Yeah, so he's new to Blab. So he's, he's still it's a learning ground, so welcome to Blab. And now, kind of you got to stay on top.
One of the funniest ones I saw was I was in the chat box on another Blab, and somebody got on and said, "So what are you guys talking about?"
Oh yeah, that happens all the time.
My other favorite one was when somebody got on a Blab and they started asking them, how do I get this thing off my phone? They didn't intend to be on.
Oh wow.
They called in by accident.
I saw a woman, I think she must have had it on her iPad, and her little 2-year-old was like all in the camera and like all in like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And she doesn't even know the baby's on the iPad on the Blab. So it was great. And we're all sitting there like, hi, aren't you cute? Could you get your mama?
So thanks, Kurt, for calling in. Definitely come back to us if you want to talk about sales, marketing. And there's your daughter right behind you.
Yeah, my little cute. She's like, oh, did you say you're blabbing? So let me stick my head in your blab. You won't notice at all.
That's funny. So any crazy stories you've had? Like, what's the funniest thing that happened on one of your blabs? Something you weren't expecting?
Oh gosh, I can always go back to like my first blab. Yes, Shoshana hit it just when I said it. I could go back to my first blab right now. This is something that's not so funny. Thank you much. Thank you. Okay, this is okay. Okay, thank you. My first blab was so interesting. I think it was something about the topic of like trolls and how to handle social media. Something was that my topic, Shoshana, if you remember? Well, in any event, this woman gets on, and there was like somebody in the seat, and that person, made a statement that she didn't agree with. She gets on, and she says the other woman's attacking her, and she felt very threatened, and she felt very angry, and she felt very, and it like yes, and vulnerable, and I feel that and it was very dramatic. It was really dramatic. And I was just like, okay, so how do we handle this? Get her out of here, but also don't crush her.
Right,
I didn't want to crush, because she was definitely in a space that was toxic.
She was already feeling vulnerable. So.
She was already feeling vulnerable. She was on the high defensive. And I just kind of let her have that space and let her have her piece of saying, but kind of swooshed her out of the room. Right. Eventually got her out of there. And I just tried not to match her energy. And that was the biggest thing. And it was funny in the aftermath, but during it was definitely tense. And there was, a lot of people who were like, where did she come from? Like, what happened? Right. So, but today I can laugh at it and say it was funny because, it was just trying not to lose your cool and trying not to get caught up in the story, because there was definitely a big story happening for her.
Shoshana's so funny.
And if she would have dropped her out the box.
Accidentally. Oops, I think we lost her.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. So sorry.
Come back in if your connection improves, and we'll accept you. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
And then hit the little triangle on her name. Like, you can't come in here anymore.
Right. But it's something like even, radio show hosts who've been around for 30, 40 years, whatever, still deal with getting these uncomfortable sort of situations and how they handle it.
Yeah, I just think that you don't know what, it's human condition. These are human beings doing human things.
Welcome back, Kurt.
Hey, I wanted to tell you about what I did. About marketing and business and all that. I work for Teen Challenge, if you know that. Teen Challenge. It's a not a rehabilitation, but just a Christian place where it helps people. And at this particular one in Phoenix, they used to wash cars. That's how they made their money, because all the money that they raise to pay the bills comes from just donations and whatever. So they were washing cars out there, and somebody brought a washer and dryer by to give us, to donate, and sold it for $50, washer dryer. So I came up with the flyer. with washer dryer, car, bicycle, this and that, the other, and had the Teen Challenge kids go out and pass those flowers out, and it's tax deductible because it's a Christian place, so you get tax deduct. And boy, my goodness, the calls started coming, and people, they pass those flowers out. We want your junk, and calls came through, boom, 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 and we had to get a delivery truck, and there became a huge yard sale and all kind of stuff for sale. And my goodness, that was back in '99, and at yard sales still going on, and I bet they've made $1 million or $2 million or $2 million worth of money versus having to wash cars. And that's what I did.
Oh, that's great.
Teen Challenge.
And that's, now you have social media as well, where you could spread the word and even here on Blab.
Yeah, so that's grassroots marketing right there. That is the key of grassroots marketing, staying right in your neighborhood and connecting people directly.
Oh my goodness.
Fantastic campaign.
And I even got in Sun City, Arizona is a elderly, I don't know if you've heard of Sun City, but it's all elderly. And so when they pass away, they put their house up for all their belongings. What is it called? Where you can go in and buy all the things.
Like an estate sale?
An estate sale, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got hooked up with this lady that anything that was left over in that house that wouldn't sell was given to us. And so we take our truck there. And my goodness, the things that are in a elderly house, they take so good care of their items. And I mean, the whole garage and beautiful couches and just antique, and she just give it to us all, and then we set it out at Teen Challenge, and boy, it just boomed that yard sale at Teen Challenge that I started way back then, just with a washer and dryer is all it started out with. But yeah, you could do wonders. They don't have to wash cars anymore.
That's fantastic, Kurt. So we want to get some other calls, and thanks a lot, Kurt, for joining us.
Thanks for demonstrating grassroots marketing. Here's the thing, though, about his point about grassroots marketing, right? It's doing the little things, the things that people often overlook as far as really getting traction in their business. What I find now is that there is this overcomplication of making connections to the audience that you want to make connections with. And so we go so far away from the audience rather than, okay, this audience is right here. Like, what can I do right now to connect to the next person? And so, I like his story because, in '99, we could ramp that up and add a little spice of social media. But it really is just, here's an audience. They want their car washed. Here we are positioned to wash their cars. Let's do it.
And what else can we bring? Like,
what else can we
have that people aren't going to use or don't want to use anymore that could bring, additional funds? So
yeah. And if we really think about, what is it that our people want? What are they looking for? And are they looking for what we think they're looking for?
Right.
Sometimes I think we make up like, well, this would be a nice way to help people, but it's not really what they want.
Right. And sometimes it just takes a little trial and error too. I mean, it realizes like, okay, cut your losses, right? You're trying something, and the people you're trying to help, the people you're trying to sell to, the people you're trying to engage aren't necessarily interested in what you think they're going to be interested in. And so you have to change on the fly. You can't wait 3 years and then say, well, I provided it, but they didn't want it,
Yeah.
You have to listen. You have to listen a lot. And we don't do that as much anymore, right? I mean, it's so much like broadcasting, which, you know, we love doing that on Blab, but I'm talking about on Twitter, and, you know, people just schedule tweets all day and nobody's really listening to anybody anymore.
Yes, it's true. You know, the level of engagement, of actual engagement, is dramatically lower than it should be or could be. You know, if people really took the time to listen, to have conversations, again, another reason to, you know, give Blab the props.
Right.
Because this is where it's creating that dialogue. It's creating that conversation. This is a great platform to figure out, what do people really want? You know, instead of just shouting into the wind or putting out what you think are pithy comments and cute little memes, you could really have some real world. This is what people really want to hear. This is what people want to know about you. This is what people want to learn. And it can, you know, it's a great place to find out.
Before I discovered Blab, what the one most, you know, engaging thing I found was Twitter chats, where people would ask each other questions, and you would learn something, and you would meet new people and stuff. But since Blab has come along, since I found Blab, I'm not sure if I've done a Twitter chat. I mean, it's just so much better to talk to people directly, to see their face, to hear them laugh, to, you know, get all the subtext that, you know, you can't get in just typing on a keyboard, and then also not limited to 140 characters at a time. It's just, since I found Blab, there's nothing like this in social media. And you mentioned Google Plus Hangouts, right? That was a disaster. I mean, to have to send people a link, like, it's not, you don't just go to Google Plus and you log in, you look for something interesting and you join. You have to send them a link. There's only so many people can get in the room, and then the other people don't know, am I in the Hangout or am I watching on air? What I'm doing.
Oh my gosh.
It made some changes, but, you know, it's almost like it was too far gone to go back and bother looking at it right now. I mean, they'd have to really pick up steam again to make people who've come to Blab, I think, go back.
Yeah, it was wonky. It was clunky. It was tough to get around. I remember, like, you know, there was a couple of times I needed to do a Google Hangout, and it was just with like 5 people, and I was sweating bullets because I'm like, I can't get the link to work, and I can't get my lower third, and I can't get, and it was just such a pain in the behind. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. I love what Revel just said. She's like, once you go to Blab, you'll never go back. There's no need to go back. Like, Google Hangouts, I'm sorry, you have been circumvented. We're done. We're done with you. We're done, because there is nothing easier than clicking on a Blab and being in it. Like, when is somebody going to create something easier than that? And if they do, that will be interesting.
Funny, Kurt says, wish we had this back in 1985, and Shoshana said we wouldn't have been ready for it.
And I beg to differ. That was my no, thank you. I wouldn't want people to know anything that I was doing in 1980.
Right.
I was still in high school. No. Right. No, we weren't mature enough for it then.
Did you use Periscope at all?
I did. I tried using Periscope. I think I did like 1 or 2 Periscopes, and I never could get with it. It just wouldn't even. It just, I didn't have the love for it. The closest I got to it was, there was Nomadcast, which actually linked to Facebook. And I liked it better because I'm a big Facebook person. Like, Facebook, beyond Blab, Facebook is my happy place. If I'm not on Blab, I'm on Facebook. And so anything that was Twitter related, which is funny that Blab is, I just couldn't get there. I was just like, I'm not going through Periscope. But Blab, that's the only way they got my Twitter business back.
So you mentioned Facebook.
Yeah.
You know the next question that's coming. Will Facebook Live be popular? Will it take over? Will it hurt Blab? Will it hurt Periscope? What do you think? What do you make of Facebook Live?
I hope that it doesn't. So when I first saw the whole Facebook Live, I actually got excited. But now that I'm seeing that they are opening it to people like just all over the place who are using it, you know, and people are like, oh, this is us at Christmas time playing guitar band or whatever that game is. You know, I'm like, really? I really want to see. Like, it's enough to have video clips from everybody, but to now have people who are like, I'm live right now in the grocery store, and I just want to let you know I'm here in the grocery store. I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want it. So, right. But I also don't think it can replace Blab for the fact that it doesn't have this. It doesn't have you in a box, me in a box, and, you know, somebody else in the seats, which, hello, people, you can still get in the seats. It doesn't have that same interactivity. So I don't think
it's really more of a threat to Periscope than it is to Blab. Yep. Do you have it yet? I wouldn't even know where to look for it at this point. But I don't think I have it yet.
They turned me down. I tried twice, but I tried at the time that it was like, you know, Oprah probably got it. You know, Grant Cardone got it. You know, like what's his name? Gary Vee had it.
Right.
I think if I tried again now, because I do have an active business page, I could get on there, but I don't want to.
Right.
I really don't want to. I'm not going to the. I don't have those strikes of genius in the middle of the day that I have to like go to video. You know, I really am that if I have a strike of genius, it's probably going to get written form first, and it's probably going to marinate, and then I'll probably do a blab about it.
So I'm guessing you're not on Snapchat either, or you're not using it actively?
No, I don't even have a Snapchat account. I'm kind of like, I don't want to go there because my niece and nephew are there. and I have a stepdaughter who's 27. I don't think I want to know what they're Snapchatting about.
Right.
I'm a little scared of them.
Welcome, Revel. Revel or Revel?
Revel.
Revel. Welcome.
Revel. Hey, lady.
Shoshana says she's got it.
You have Snapchat or you have Facebook Live?
I think she means Facebook Live.
Oh, so everybody has it now?
I don't
She says when you go to post a status on your phone, let me take a look at my phone. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
I don't have it. At first it was like celebrities and stuff, and then it was people who were verified with a business page, and for life of me, I can't get verified, and I've had a business page for a couple of years now. Actually, yeah, and I don't really care.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Like at first I was like, when they told me I couldn't, I really wanted to, and now that I can, I'm like, I don't want to.
I mean, how much time can we spend doing this stuff? You know, as our clients over there. What's up, baby? Hold on, sorry.
Bye.
Oh, bye. Okay. He's working tonight. So you know, I mean, for me, it's like how many social medias? I don't have enough time in my life. I'm already a Blab addict. I can't do, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. I can't do them all. And then now Facebook Live ain't happening.
Yeah.
So when I open my phone right to Facebook, I see status, photo, and check in. So I go to status, right, and first it brings up, if I hit the camera icon, it brings up my gallery. And then I can click either like the photo icon on that or the video icon, and it opens up like where I could shoot a video. But I don't think that's Facebook Live, right? That's just recording a video that I would then upload, or would I have been live if I had clicked on that?
I don't know. Let me see.
That's your camera roll. So isn't it when you click?
That's different. That's like you can post.
Okay, so
I can post a video right now. Is that live though? I have 5 icons. Let me see.
I've only got 3. I got status, photo, and check-in.
Right, I got the same.
So where are you looking?
Oh, Shoshana, you're special. So let's see.
5 icons. No.
I got post, update. What is this? Update something.
Okay, I'm on an iPhone. Maybe that makes a difference?
No, I can update an activity.
I'm on an Android. Maybe it hasn't been rolled out for Android yet.
Well,
No, I have.
I got an iPhone.
I don't rate. It's a man with a halo over it. Nope, don't have a man with a halo. I apparently don't rate yet.
Men with a halo. No men here.
All I have to do is say, Facebook, you're missing out. You're missing out on some of the best live video. that you could get right now.
So there.
Right. And if I had live video, I would tell you about it. No.
So I know it's not. If it hasn't happened already, it's not too long where somebody's going to be on Facebook Live while they're on Blab, and they're going to think that they can Facebook Live it so that they can bring people over to Blab who otherwise don't even know what Blab is, right? It could work, but it's not something that I like to look at the people that I'm talking to. So I can't imagine having like 3 different cameras here and going.
Well, I know people do that with Periscope. You know, they're Periscoping.
He comes on my Periscopes, my Blabs in the morning, and he scopes them to his audience.
Yeah. See, I don't. Yeah. I am. Look, I am low tech. I am one space at a time. I am. It's like to me, if it works, why change it? Why drive yourself crazy with it? So I try to keep it kind of low profile and very simple. Simple and strategic at the same time. But to those who do all of that, I bow to you. I just don't see it, but it's not me.
So Shoshana, have you used it? Have you gone on and done a Facebook Live? No, not yet.
How's it different? Can you come in? Can you come in to see? I want to know how it's different from Periscope or Blab or whatever. Have either of you done Meerkat?
No.
No, I signed up for it, but I've never used it.
Yeah. I figured I wasn't doing Periscope, so.
I don't even really use, I use Periscope if somebody that I know is going to be on and do something interesting, I'll catch it, but I haven't done Periscope either. I keep saying I'm going to try it just to kind of learn what it is and what's going on, but I haven't done it yet. I
like Periscope because it's simple. But since I've been going on Blab now and doing my own Blabs, I don't care, following Karen and Jenny and Carol Sankar and so many other people. I just don't have time to do one more thing. It's just don't have that.
I think because it's integrated with Twitter, and now Apple TV is going to actually give you the opportunity to broadcast or watch Periscopes on Apple TV. Wow. I think it's going to be around for a while, and somebody famous or some celebrity or somebody who does something that goes viral is going to hit it off on Periscope. And people are going to be watching that on Apple TV one day instead of like watching their favorite program at night. So I think, I don't think Facebook Live is necessarily going to kill Periscope. It definitely won't kill Blab, but
no.
Yeah, I don't see it as killing it or direct competing with it. But the thing is, there's 1% of the world population on Facebook, and it's the highest number of people anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely going to have some type of impact. And so I think it's really good for Periscope to be a leader in getting with Apple TV, because that will give them that leverage. Otherwise, Facebook Live would crush it just by mere numbers.
Yeah, I think there'll be that split. Like people use Facebook Live for, showing off their kid's sporting event or birthday party to relatives who can't make it and things like that. But they'll still come to places like Periscope and Blab to talk business, to learn, to have different kinds of discussions that maybe they don't really think that their friends and family, their sort of close network of social relationships really are that interested in. So I think different platforms could be used for different things.
Yeah. It's definitely much more of a community over, like, the everyday neighborhood community over on Facebook than it is in any other space.
There's a lot of people, that's all they do is they just connect to family and, like you were saying, family relatives and stuff who they don't see all the time. And for me, it's been really fun because I've got like 4,000 followers and on my business page, I don't even know how many I've got on there, and I can't get them to Blab.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm finding the same thing, that people are still like, I don't know what that is. Yeah. I don't have a reason to go over there. I'm not going.
Revel, do you have trouble like getting a lot of engagement on your Facebook page, or because if you don't pay to boost it, if you don't pay the advertising fee, you're only really reaching like a very small percentage, probably less than 10, maybe even less than 5%, right? on a business page post?
I have found a way to do it.
Oh.
And not my last one because I did something different, but the one before that, the last post before that, I've got 5,000 plus reached.
Wow.
Nice.
I don't know if that's a lot or not, but it seems like that to me. And I only post twice a week. I post Sunday mornings and Wednesday mornings. And what I did was I joined a bunch of groups that were related to what I do. One of the things I do. And this one's wrapped around food. So I joined every group I could. And then I would post from my page to the group. And I get some people, just immediately deleted me, removing me from the group. And I had more than one saying, I'm sorry, but you can only do it on Tuesdays. You can only, and I'm like, well, I'm going to leave because if I can't post my stuff, I'm kind of vain like that. What do I sell?
Right.
There, I don't really sell anything. It's basically I just post recipes that I do regarding Eat to Live. I mean, these are Eat to Live groups, Dr. Furman groups, and I think I'm in like 11 groups that I put them in, and I make a little money doing that because I put my Amazon affiliate links in there and share a recipe. I'll share the page if you want to check out the recipes. But see, at 5 o'clock, so I start. Oh shoot, I gotta get going. I started just doing a blab on Eat to Live.
Oh, cool. Oh, you're doing it today?
Yeah, 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes.
3 minutes. But the thing is, I can't get the people from these groups to the blab.
So
maybe you can get them from this blab to that blab at least, right?
Yeah. Do you put the blab replays on your posts?
Oh yeah. They don't.
And they're still not engaging?
No, it'll happen. I'm not in any. It's no big deal. I just find my recipe page so I can put it up real quick without.
Well, it's great you're getting all that engagement though on your page because it's not easy these days.
Yeah, and that's what I found. All of a sudden, I'm getting a lot of. Do I have an eggplant recipe?
Bird's like, can I get some eggplant over here? I want to eat some live.
Thanks for having me on. I'm going to run and go do my blab, and y'all have fun now.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Have a great night.
It's like, can I get some eggplant while you're at it?
Oh, too much fun.
He's a hoot over there. It's like his great grandmother loved eggplant.
So thanks so much, Karen, for coming on and spending the hour. Tell everybody what you got coming up. 4:30 tomorrow, Tuesday, is Thought Leaders Playground.
Yes, right, Jenny?
4:30 Eastern.
Right, Jenny?
Coach Jenny's here.
Yeah, she just came in. Yes, okay, she's propping me up. So tomorrow, 4:30 Eastern, we have Thought Leaders Playground. We'll be kicking it off for the new year to make sure that anybody who wants to be a thought leader and use Blab for that thought leadership and really want to, put substance and quality on Blab, that's what we're there to ensure that the space is provided for you and the education is provided for you. And Mondays through Fridays, Think and Grow Rich for coaches. We are going through Think and Grow Rich, the Napoleon Hill book. And tomorrow morning, we are chapter 1. So if you're thinking about it and you want to get involved in reading Think and Grow Rich and you've been wanting to go through it, and thank you so much, Shoshana. She's put in the Facebook group. Go to the group, join the group, and then you can grab the book there. We have the files in the PDF is up in there, and then come to the discussion every morning, 10 to 11, Monday through Fridays.
And check out livestreamuniverse.com because Karen and Coach Jenny are both featured in our predictions for 2016. What's going to happen with live streaming and digital media. So thanks everyone for joining us. This was a really fun show. Livestream Stars is going to be off for 2 weeks and we'll be back on the 25th of January, Monday, 7 p.m. with Mitch Jackson. And we've got a lot of great guests coming up. Chris Barrows from YI Social Podcast, Rebecca Radis, Vincenzo Landino, Mark Babbitt. So a lot to look forward to at the end of January and through February. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great night and a wonderful 2016. Hope it's off to a good start. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Ross. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Karen.